Okay, so we're looking at question 2 of your 2013 paper. Okay, like your prelims, you cannot make the same mistake. Okay, so they ask you how far do the professor in B, source B, and the cartoonist in C agree that job will be lost if Kraft takes over Cadbury. Okay, so there is multiple parts to this, a bit more than prelims. Prelims was just, whether the professor agree with, whether the cartoonists agree with each other, okay, about PRI. This one be more specific. Okay, so if you answer source B, both sources are similar or both sources are different, you have not answered the question. Okay, if I'm going to be very strict, it's actually 0 marks. Now if you say both sources agree or disagree, again I will give you 0 marks if I'm very strict, because you have not answered the question. Okay, so you need to say that the professor and the cartoonist, whether they agree or not. Now whether you write source B or source C don't matter so much this time, because they are quite distinct. I can tell professors from which source. But if you want to play safe, just say professor in source B, cartoonist in source C. Okay, do they agree or disagree? Well, up to you to answer. Okay, now if you talk about anything else other than jobs will be lost if Kraft take over, you have not answered the question. Okay, so you need to answer the question, will jobs be lost at all? Okay, so over here there is some idea, the professor feels that that they will lose jobs because of the past, but he also thinks that it might be a bit different this time. Okay, as written in the red words, whereas here it's saying that, well, they will all lose their jobs. Okay, so how far would they agree? Well, I would say that they both agree that they will lose jobs, but B is a bit different in the sense that they also have this hope that it might be a bit different. Okay, so you could say that professor in source B largely agree with the cartoonist in source C that jobs will be lost if Kraft took over Cadbury. Okay, and then you give me the evidence for both. Don't forget your conjunctions, and then evidence from C. Okay, then you want to bring up the differences part. Okay, so however, the professor in source B believes, disagree slightly disagree. Okay, so you realize I don't write agree disagree only, I put largely agree, slightly disagree. Okay, so there is some different. I mentioned what exactly they agree, what exactly they disagree with. Okay, in the cartoonist that, okay, disagree in the cartoonist that job would be lost in Kraft. Okay, why? So evidence from B. So this means that the prof believes that there is a chance, okay, that jobs may not be lost. However, remember direct match, the cartoonist feels that jobs will definitely be lost. Okay, so we are differing over the chance whether there will be job losses. Okay, so if you want to follow the phrasing, it can be there will be jobs, there's no chance that the jobs will not be lost or things like that. Okay, now can we compare tone and can we compare purpose? It will be a bit difficult, okay, because the question asks you whether they agree about jobs will be lost or not. So it's very hard to phrase it as a tone or purpose. Okay, so I mean it's not like the professor would agree, professor and cartoonist would agree that they should convince people about this kind of thing. Okay, so it doesn't quite answer the question about whether jobs will be lost. So they don't really have levels for comparing purpose and tone for this case because of the nature of the question. Okay, so as far as possible, we should actually try to compare overall opinion. Okay, so which is what I've done here. It looks a bit like comparing content. Okay, but if you just do either one, or you didn't tell me the largely or slightly, then you are just comparing content. Okay, they agree that they will take lose jobs, disagree that the chance. Okay, but if you are able to nuance it fully by telling me the overall opinion, is it largely agree, and then slightly disagree, okay, then if you're able to tell me the exact full opinion, then full overall view, then that would have been a comparison of opinion. Okay, so this will be the highest level. Those who didn't nuance it by telling me largely slightly will be a lower level actually. Okay,